Hi there. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. I'm here to talk to you about my fourth book in the Hotel Casino Adventure series that I've written. Started off with my first book, Blood Dice, and then the second book is called The Red Jewel. The third is called Information. That's INN, Formation. Yeah, all my books are about the hotel business. It's based on the hotel industry. And my fourth book in the series is called Border House. Border House. What exactly is Border House? Well, let me put it this way. Border House is another word for sanctuary. My main two characters, the protagonists in all of my books, Eldon and Kimberly, they're hotel people. They own hotels throughout the world. It's called Holiday Jewel Hotels and Casinos. And they have hotels and resorts throughout the Caribbean, throughout the USA, internationally. And in Border House, Eldon and Kimberly, they've been addressing situations throughout the world that affect their hotels and resorts. Everything from the mafia in Russia to international terrorists in Cairo, Egypt, to labor union corruption and the CIA in the Caribbean. And in Border House, they address the U.S.-Mexico border crisis. Eldon and Kimberly decide that they need to do something because they have the means, they have the money, they have the power, and they also have the permission from the U.S. government to do whatever the heck they want to do on a business basis, a one-time chance that the U.S. government has given them because in the previous book called Information, they pretty much ended up saving the world from international terrorism. And for the U.S. government, it was such a huge contribution that they made to basically saving the U.S. that they've been awarded this one-time chance to do whatever the heck they want to do without any strings attached. And Eldon and Kimberly have chosen to step into the arena that has to do with the U.S.-Mexico border crisis that's going on for the last few years. We've all heard about it on TV and radio, and it's been making world news how the refugees from primarily Central America and Mexico as well have been just pouring into the U.S., coming across the border by the thousands, by the hundreds of thousands, and how it's just changed the entire complexion of the way America treats its refugees. You know, with children being separated from their parents, sleeping on cement floors with mylar blankets provided as comfort, that kind of stuff, and kids being put into cages and what have you. So all that is addressed in my book called Border House. And just to give you an idea, what Border House is referring to is Eldon and Kimberly decide to build accommodation called border houses all along the U.S.-Mexico border, going all the way from Brownsville, Texas, all the way over to Tijuana in California, at certain strategic lines along the Rio Grande River and along the U.S.-Mexico border. And what Eldon and Kimberly are trying to do in Border House is to provide these safe havens where these refugees can be taken away from U.S. Customs and Border Control from their deplorable conditions. And Eldon and Kimberly want to house them in virtually long-stay hotels until their cases come up for review. And in the meantime, they can live with dignity as families. So anyway, that's the concept of Border House, but that's not really the focus of the book. The book centers around the main character. Well, Eldon and Kimberly are sub-characters in this book, whereas in my other three books, they are the main two characters, and they're the protagonists. They're protagonists here as well, but sub-characters, so to speak. The main character is Gina Garcia and her 2 young children. Gina Garcia, an impoverished woman, young woman in her 20s, from Honduras, and she's seeking a better life in the USA to escape from unmentionable poverty and crime in Honduras. And she wants to bring her kids because now her young son and daughter have been targeted by the criminal elements very similar to MS-13. You know what MS-13 is all about, right? You've heard about that organized crime group out of Central America, the Mara Salvatrucha. Anyway, MS-13, there's a similar group like that in Honduras where she lives with her 2 children. And this crime organization has called the Horns of the Devil. But this crime organization has now centered on and picked on her 2 young kids, so they can recruit them and bring them into their crime organization, and her young daughter to be set up in sex trafficking, and her young son to be set up in dealing with drugs and all the other criminal elements and murder and what have you. So Gina decides to make a run for the U.S. border. But Gina carries with her a big secret. She carries with her a secret that can never be divulged. She wants to divulge it, but she can't. She can't divulge it until she gets to America, and specifically to America, to the White House. Now, Gina and her 2 kids start to make a run for the borders. They run through Honduras into El Salvador, Guatemala. Their journey takes them up through Mexico, and they're heading for the border in the United States. But all along the way, the U.S. president doesn't want her to make it. There is a secret that Gina carries that the U.S. president does not want the world to know. If the world finds out what Gina's got in store, that's the end of the U.S. president. And keeping with the times, the book takes place around now, say a few years from now, or a few years ago. But it's got the flavor and the smell of Trump. Yeah, so it's not about Trump, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of Trumpish, all right? And give it a read. I have to tell you this. This book was sitting inside of me for a long time. It's about refugees. I, too, am a refugee. Mind you, I didn't come to Canada through the U.S.-Mexico border. My parents and I, we escaped from communism and oppression from the Russians, the Russian government, not the Russian people. The Russian people are fabulous. It's the government that was all effed up. And that was back in '56. But we ran through the bushes and we ran through the forest, and we hid in hollows, and we hid in barns, and I heard bombs going off and mines going off. And so anyway, we were refugees, and I needed to write this book to get it out of my system. And a lot of what's in the book identifies with what's happened to me and my mom and dad back in the late 50s, mid 50s. So anyway, Border House is about Gina and her 2 kids striving for a better life in America, and the hardship and the harrowing journey they face running for the U.S. border. Will they make it? Will her secret be divulged? Will Border House be the salvation they seek? And will America eventually give them the new life they so desperately want? Border House. Check it out. It will change the way you think about refugees, and it will have you looking deep within your heart. I promise. I'm Frank Julius. Thanks for listening. I'd love for you to give it a read, and I'd love for you to let me know what you thought, some comments. It's available on Amazon as a paperback as well as an ebook. All right, don't forget to smile, and if you can, do something real nice for someone today if you get the chance. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye-bye.